Hello everyone, welcome to UN Autonomous College. Today we can discuss the concept of scripting elements in JSP. Before going to discuss about this topic, and that topic somehow related to our web development concept, we know that whenever user want to develop any type of web page, we always prefer to need a language. That language is known as HTML, means hypertext markup language. By using that hypertext markup language, we can design a specific web page, and we know that whenever a user combining more than one web page, that is known as website, and that website specially possible to develop through that HTML coding, and each and every website or web pages are opened through that web browser, and that web browser is a platform through which we can open our web page relevant documents in our web browser. That may be your Google Chrome, that may be your Internet Explorer, that may be your Opera Mini. Any type of web browsers is a internet interpreting scripting browser. By using that browser, we can easily access our HTML relevant documents in our system. As well as that JSP concept is also related to that internet relevant platform, and its output must be accessed in our web browser. That's why that JSP concept is always embedded within our HTML code, and that HTML code contains some JSP relevant codes, and that JSP relevant codes are executed through a specific type of server. That may be your Glassfish, that may be your Apache Tomcat web server. By using these two type of web server, we can specially develop our JSP relevant coding or JSP relevant program in our system, and these servers are specially available in our NetBeans editor, or we can say integrated development environment, or we can prefer to access that is known as Eclipse editor. Otherwise, if a user does not contain this two type of internet developer editor, then user can also prefer to doing their program manually install this type of servers in their system and make a path setting, then execute it. It is a normal way of accessing it, but somehow that JSP coding is also related to HTML platform. That means, and we know that whenever user is going to develop any type of HTML page, we must learn about different types of tags. Similarly, Java concept, we have a JSP Java server page concept. That coding must be written in our HTML format with the help of some specific type of tags, and that tags is discussed in this topic, and that topic is named as the scripting elements. By using that scripting elements, we are going to develop some JSP relevant programs in our system. Okay, fine. Let us focus on the slide. Today we can discuss what are the different outlines related to this topic. We can learn what is the real meaning of that scripting elements. Then we can learn what are the different types of scripting elements and what are the different examples are related to different scripting elements. We can discuss what is the real meaning of scripting elements. We know that in JSP, Java code can be written inside the JSP page using the scriptlet tag, and it is a part of, that is known as a scriptlet tag, is a part of JSP element, or we can say our scripting element. Before going to discuss about this tag, we know what are the real structure of that scripting element, and that scripting element specially provides the ability to insert Java code inside the JSP. That means we know that whenever user is going to write any type of JSP code in their programming section which is somehow related to our HTML format, but that JSP code must be executed through a web server, and that web server must be followed to a JVM. Then that JVM gives a platform of Servlet coding. That means that JSP coding is automatically translated to a Servlet format. Then that Servlet format must be translated or forwarded to JVM. Then that JVM should display a result through that web server. That may be a Glassfish web server or Apache Tomcat web server. In this way, we are executing our JSP pages. But let us focus on that slide. Here we have written that the scripting element provides some ability. That means user must insert some code which are related to JSP format, and that code must be written in our web browser, and that web browser helps to interpreting that code. But at the real time execution, that web browser is not open automatically, but that is open through a web server. That means whenever user going to develop any type of HTML page, we know that each and every HTML page are always designed through an extension that is known as .html. That means when a file is end with an extension that is known as a .html, that means this type of document is known as HTML document. That means the web relevant document. Similarly, when a user want to create a JSP page, in that moment user must add an extension that is known as .jsp. That means that JSP is denoted as a Java server page, and that page must be executed through an web server. That means through a web server we can execute that JSP page, and that JSP page consequence must be reflected in our web browser, and that web browser is automatically opened. There is no need to any external effort to open that web browser. Whenever your web server is activated and your JSP program is compiled, then it is executing, then automatically your web browser is opened and you are getting an output through that browser. Okay. Next we can learn what are the different types of scripting elements are available in our JSP concept. Generally we have three types of scripting elements, such as one is known as a scripting, means a scriptlet tag, second one known as expression tag, third one known as declaration tag. Before going to discuss about this type of elements, we know that in our HTML is always doing their programs through the combination of number of tags. That may be HTML tag, then we have a head tag, then we have a body tag, then we have a title tag, and also we have some different types of heading tags also. If a user want to add an image, we can as a image tag, and user want to add a link, then we can have an anchor tag. We have a number of tags in our HTML format. But here we can discuss the JSP concept similarly provides some tags. By using that tag, a user can write some Java relevant code with the help of these types of scripting elements. That means that scripting elements generally provides three types of tag. One is known as a scriptlet tag, second one known as declaration tag, third one known as expression tag. By using these three tags, we are generally developing our JSP program in our system. Okay, fine, let us focus on that slide. Now we are going to discuss what is the real meaning of, or what is the use of that scriptlet tag. And generally a scriptlet tag is used to execute Java source code in JSP. That means by using that scriptlet tag, user can easily write some Java relevant code in their system. That may be your data type declaration, that may be your any control structure declaration, that may be your any array type concept, string type concept. Any type of concept can be embedded or written with the help of that scriptlet tag. That means the scriptlet tag provides an interface where an user can easily write their Java code in it, and that code must be executed through that web server, because that web server have some syntax, have some engine or coding sector through which that JSP page is automatically converted to sublet, and then that sublet is automatically related to Java. That's why it is moved forward to the JVM machine. Then that JVM machine is automatically compiled, then executing, then finally we are getting an output through our web browser. In this way we are getting it. But how to use it and what are the different related syntax structure in this scriptlet tag? Let us focus on that slide. Here, if a user want to write their Java code, means Java related code, we must to use that tag, and that tag is known as a left angular bracket with percentile, and is opening tag, and this is known as a closing tag. In between these two tags, we are going to writing some Java relevant code. User must write some Java related code in between these two opening and closing tag. Okay, let us discuss about its example and how to explain this scriptlet tag in our JSP program, which are explained in this slide. That means it is the first example which is discussed in your scriptlet tag. User must for to use that is known as HTML tag. We know that because we are using the help of HTML tag, means somehow that JSP tag is always embedded within your HTML language. That's why we are always prefer to write first HTML tag. Then we are writing the HTML tag. Inside that HTML tag, we must also add some extraordinary, means optional tag like your head section. Only in this program we have a body section. If a user want to write to add some head section in this program, there is no problem. We can also add the head section. Inside that head also we can declare some, that is known as a title tag. With the help of that title tag, we can write some codes in it. That means that code may be your JavaScript relevant code, or we can also write some JSP relevant code. But here in this example, our scriptlet tag can be used in our body section. Let us discuss about it. First of all, we can easily write that HTML, then body tag, and that body tag gives a section where we can write some our relevant code, and that code must be executed and its result or consequence must be displayed in our web browser. In that body section, we can write the opening of scriptlet tag, means angular bracket percentile is a signature of that scriptlet tag. Then in that tag we can declare a variable that named as a. Then a means int a equal to 10. That means a here contains some parameter or some value like 10 and is integer type value. Then we have declared b, and that b contains 20, which is also one type of integer constant. Then we are going to displaying an addition of these two number, means a plus b, and its consequence must be stored in that variable known as c. And that c contains the addition of, means summation of these two variable a plus b. Then we are going to displaying the result of or consequence of this c variable, which is an integer type variable. In that moment, we are going to writing an object that is known as out.print, and with the help of that out object, we are invoking a print method. In that print method, we are going to write some statement which is known as a sum. That statement, whatever written within a double quote, it must be displayed in our web browser. Here we are written like sum equal to plus c. Plus is known as a concatenation operator. That means we can add the value of c the behind of this sum equal to. That means if we have a plus b means 10 plus 20 30, sum equal to 30. We are getting in our consequence, and that program must be saved with a name, and that name must contain an extension .jsp. Then that program must be compiled in our NetBeans or any IDE that is known, maybe your Eclipse. With the help of that IDE, we can execute that program, and that program is executing by setting a specific type of web server, that may be your Glassfish or Apache Tomcat web server. By using that web server, we are successfully encoding or decoding that code or executing that code in our program. Next, we can learn another example of that scriptlet tag. Here we are taking the dynamic input at the time of execution, and the dynamic input cannot be possible with the help of scanner class. We know that in our Java coding format, generally whenever user want to write a Java code and want to give input, that may be possible to the take of the predefined class, that is a scanner class, which classes exist in our util package. Otherwise, you can also take the data input stream or buffer reader class. With the help of that class also, we can give some dynamic input to our variable, a specific type of variable. Similarly, in our JSP concept, if you want to design a dynamic platform, means a runtime platform, user want to give their parameter at the time of execution. In that moment, user must to develop a HTML page. In that HTML page, we can design a form. In that form, we can mention some box, that may be an input box, as well as also we have some command button, means we have a submit button. With the help of that text box and submit button, we can easily forward some data or some constant from your source end to the destination end. In that form window, in that form section, we can set or we can make a link in between the JSP page. Whenever that HTML page is executed successfully, that means it is automatically forwarded its parameter which is received by your JSP page. Then that JSP page must provide their consequence in their web browser. Let us discuss about what are the real coding related to that topic. We can discuss here. Let us focus on that slide. Here we can develop first HTML page which is saved in the name that is known as index.html, but user can save that HTML file with different name. There is no problem. There is no any compulsory to write this index.html. We can write any name, but we must save with that .html file. And in that file we are writing here HTML tag. In that tag then we can write the body tag. In their body section we have a form section, and that form section or form tag helps to create some text box or any submit button, any command button. Then in your form tag we have an attribute that is known as action, and in that action we have specify a JSP file that is named as welcome.jsp. means we have another slide, what are the related codes behind this welcome.jsp, and that code special helps us to writing some JSP relevant code, means Java related code, which helps to display some name of that is which is inputted in our HTML file. We can retain the each and every code in our welcome.jsp section in that slide. In your form window we are writing some statement like your first number. In that first number we are printing a text box, creating a text box that is written as input tag. Then we are contain an attribute named as a type. In that type attribute we can add a specific format. If you are writing a text, that means you are going to creating a text box, and each input text box must have a unique identifier, and that unique identifier must be specified through that attribute known as name attribute. In that name attribute we have specify a constant or a value that is known as a T1. You can write anything in between this double quote, but that is known as a unique identifier of this text box. It's a text box 1, also you can write here, no problem, but it is name attribute specify the real unique identifier of that type of input unit. That may be a text box, that may be a list box, radio button, address bar, anything else you want to add it, but you must to specify that type in your type attribute. If you are writing a radio, that means create a radio button. If you are writing a checkbox, now it is create a checkbox button, automatically created. It is a most important point in that part. In the second statement of writing a second number, we can create another text box that is written as input tag. Then we have an attribute that is known as type. In that type we are creating another text box, we are written a text. Then we specify another attribute name with a specific identifier or unique identifier T2. But here you cannot write T1. If you are writing the T1, you are unable to catch the value of this text box in your JSP page. Now we are going to discuss about it. Next we can create a submit button in that HTML page. How it will be possible? By adding the input tag, where type the take the help of an attribute that is known as a type. In that type attribute we are writing a submit. Submit is known as a command. By using that command we are creating a submit button. Then when using that another attribute known as value, in that value we are entering the name, and that name must be reflected in our submit button, that is written as enter, and whatever you are writing in that value, it must be reflected on the top of that button. Then we are ending that form window, and the form section is closed, is a form opening tag and is a form closing tag. Then we can end that body tag, then we can end the HTML tag, and that whole program must be saved with a specific name named as index.html. Through that index.html we are saving that program. Okay, next we can discuss about what is the real code behind this welcome.jsp page. Let us first we can focus it. Here we can learn welcome.jsp. In that welcome.jsp we have some specific coding section. That coding somehow related to Java code, and it is the most dynamic effect, makes a dynamic effect in our programming section. User can provide some parameter through that HTML page, index.html page, and that parameter must be cast or received through this welcome.jsp page, which is only possible by using that JSP programming concept, and it is possible through that implementation of that web server. And in that HTML code we are writing the body section. In body section we are taking the help of that scriptlet tag. We know that With the help of that scriptlet tag, we are going to writing some Java specific code. In that scriptlet tag, we are going to writing here declaring a variable no1 means number 1, and we are receiving a parameter which is written as request.get parameter, and we are specify t1. T1 means the text box 1 were written in our previous slide here, T1. And that T1 means which is specified in that section, T1. That means in that first text box you can carry or retrieve the parameter which is specified in that text box, and that by default that parameter must be considered as a string type. That's why we are going to make an addition. In that addition only possible through integer. That's why we need to convert that string type to an integer type, and that type of conversion is only possible through by using this type of statement like integer.parseInt. By including this statement or adding this statement integer.parseInt, we can taking the parameter in between the parseInt request.get parameter, which is taking the unique identifier T1, and the value of T1 must be automatically string type value converted to integer type value, and that integer must be transferred to that num1, no1. Similarly, that no2 is also playing that role. That means we can also write integer.parseInt. In it we have a parameter request.get parameter. In that parameter we are taking another identifier that is written as T2. Through that T2 is known as a text box 2. By using that text box 2 we can receive its parameter, then we can store in num2, and then we are adding this num1 no2, then in our result section res equal to no1 plus no2. That means we are adding two value. Finally we are going to printing it sum equal to res. Then we are printing the result of this summation. In this way we can automatically creating some values which are forwarded from our HTML page. We usually provide some data in our HTML section, then it is automatically transferred to our JSP page. Then we are calculating or manipulating each and every Java relevant code in our scriptlet tag. Then finally we are getting a result in our web browser, which is possible through our web server. Now we can discuss the next type of element that is known as expression tag. What is the meaning of that expression tag? Here the code placed within JSP expression tag and which is written to the output stream of the response. So you need not write out.print method. Whenever user want to create or execute that expression tag, that means most important benefit of using that expression tag is like that. We know that whenever user want to printing something in our scriptlet tag, we are using a technique that is known as out.print method. But whenever user want to implement that expression tag, there is no need to write out.print method. We can directly execute that, or we can directly execute running that code or displaying that code on a web browser by using that expression tag. Let us discuss how to use it and what are the different syntax related about this tag. Let us focus on that slide. Here in that slide we can writing a syntax like, here we can taking the percentile equal to is the signature of that expression tag. With the help of that percentile equal to, we can write the some statement, which statement want to manipulation, then we can end that expression tag with the percentile, then right angular bracket, then it is a signature or we can say syntax of that expression tag. Instead of out.println, if we are writing this expression tag, we are directly getting our consequence in our web browser. Then we can discuss the example of that expression tag, how to use it. Simple example here in that expression tag. We can add the HTML tag, then we are writing the body tag, then in that body tag we are writing some expression tag like percentile equal to. In that expression tag we are printing some statement, welcome to JSP. That means whenever this coding is must be saved with a .jsp file, any file name .jsp, and its file is executing through web server, then we are getting a consequence in a web browser like welcome to JSP. There is no need to write out.println. By simply we can write percentile equal to, within double quote we can write some text, and that text must be displayed in our web browser. Next example of that expression tag, simply that example denoted as we can save that file index.jsp with some file name written as the HTML. In that HTML tag we have a body tag. In that body tag we are going to displaying some system current date and time, and it's more dynamic in it. Without taking the help of out.println or in out.print method, we can directly take the help of expression tag. Then we can write the code of date and time. Then we're getting the result in our web browser. Then how to write that code? In a body section we can write the expression tag, and it is a one signature. There is a normal text which is displayed in our web browser. After that we are getting a date and time of a system. Then we can write the expression tag. Then we can write a java.util package. We know that in our util package we have system, date and time, relevant functions or methods in it. Then we are writing util.calendar.getInstance.getTime method. This is a getInstance method or getTime method. Through that statement we can directly display the system, date and time in our web browser. Then we can close that body section, then close that HTML section. In this way we are doing our program. Next we can learn another example is also related to that expression tag, which is related to our JSP, means the dynamic. We can also make another JSP page is also linked with another JSP page. In a single JSP page can also contain some HTML form sections. We can also create a text box. In that text box we are going to writing some name, and that name also must be forwarded or transferred to welcome.jsp. In that welcome.jsp page we are going to displaying that name which is received from your HTML or JSP page, which is known as index.jsp. Whenever this HTML coding is executed, means the index.jsp coding is executed, then you are getting a web browser output. Then we can write some name, press the submit button, automatically your welcome.jsp page is executed. On that web browser getting a response. In that web browser, welcome Mr. X, whatever name is written in that text box which is displayed in our web browser. Next we can discuss that is also somehow related to our declaration tag, and in that declaration tag we know that another most important part, that is a declaration tag. In that declaration tag we are going to discuss how to declare a specific type of variable in our programming part. We know that in our general programming language we are going to declare a variable. We can declare int a equal to 10, that is known as initialization. If we declare a variable int a semicolon, that is known as a declaration. Similarly, in a Java also provides some declaration tag, that is by using that tag we can declare some variable. But in your declaration tag a user cannot declare any type of method in it, only declare some variable. With the means just we can declare the variable, otherwise you can also assign some constant to that variable which is executed or used in our scriptlet tag in that program. Let us discuss on that example directly. Here we have a declaration tag that is known as a index.jsp. We can create a page, JSP page. In that page we are taking the declaration tag that is known as percentile explanation mark. That is plus a percentile explanation mark is denoted as an declaration tag. Means similarly, and if we are going to denote it as instead of that explanation mark we are writing equal to, now it is known as expression tag. But here explanation mark is written as for declaration tag. In that program we are going to create an HTML tag, then we are writing the body. In that body section we are creating a declaration tag, percentile explanation mark, then creating a variable that is known as data, and that data is no integer type, then end with semicolon, that is here content 50. Then user taking the help of expression tag without any out.println method, the percentile equal to, then we are write here value of the variable is, then printing the data means 50. In a web browser is executing that index.jsp page, then we are getting a consequence that is written as value of the variable is 50. We are getting this output in our web browser. In this way we are solving our declaration tag. In that declaration tag we never declare any method. Okay, it is a way of coding through which we can designing our programming part. So that in this way we can also solving lots of JSP relevant code in it, and we are going to means explaining lots of means JSP relevant tags, like some directives also possible and some implicit object is also adding in our JSPs, which are discussed in our next session also. So that these are some relevant codes related to our JSPs. Then we are going to develop our JSPs very easily and very flexible way. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.